Tiff and Rach here.
We are the Nobodies. This is our podcast. We just learned something about how we record. It was
We're not
epic.
really sure if it is actually something that needed to be done, but we're going to see how this turns out.
We're excited about it.
We have come to the last day of our... We're graduating today.
Oh, it feels heavy and
It
good
is.
and beautiful and scary, and cannot believe how much time has passed. Like, it's truly, we talk about it often, probably too much, whatever, but the accordion scape of time in this undertaking is unreal.
We've really measured a course of our lives not by the date, which someone mentioned the date, and we were just like, I don't know when. How are we in November? Like,
Tomorrow is my wedding anniversary. I figured that out today.
And she was like, tomorrow's my anniversary. I was like, huh? I was like, 3? Yeah, 3 years. Weird. And we're spending it together. Sorry, husband Chris.
Friend Chris, husband Chris.
Yes.
We love you.
Oh, we do love him. But yesterday, Tiff and I exchanged our 12th session with each other. And the 12th session is putting a bow on what has transpired in the previous 12 or 11 sessions. Mm-hmm. We both wanted each other to have that final cohesive integration. Mm-hmm. And not always is this going to be something that maybe our future clientele will be able to articulate, but I asked Tiffany what she wanted out of this session or something, because she's so able to interocept and feel where she's at in her body. And I had my own ideas, and I think what we brought together for hers, I felt really great about it. And what she brought for me were still bringing into my number 3s. You know, looking at maybe where some of those little bits and bobs need to be more integrated on me. And I felt we had a little cry after our session was done. And, you know, she's gonna start melting soon, folks.
You're melting too.
I know, but I'm still able to
know
speak.
why.
I know. She gets this look on her face that's wistful, and I can see it happening in her eyes. And it's this very open-hearted feeling of gratitude and sadness. We both said to each other, we were like, who gets to spend 14 weeks of their life living with their best friend?
As an adult.
It's
really wild.
It is.
And really special.
Yes. And we're really lucky to be here. And, you know.
And to have had this experience with each other. Our teacher and mentor, Tom Myers, said something to me the other day. He said, you know, we wondered if you both were doing each other a disservice by choosing each other as a partner for this endeavor, because a lot of times friends let each other get away with things and they don't focus necessarily on those areas that are unseen. They let each other guide each other down a path that isn't necessarily where they should head, right? Because we know each other and we care about each other and we care about what we think about our bodies. But even as practitioners with all this knowledge, there are still blind spots for us. It's so hard to be objective about your own body. And he said to me that he was grateful to see that we hadn't gone down that path and that we had chased each other's number 3s right out and right up and right into awareness, because we want to sharpen each other. We want what's best for each other. And sometimes that means, of course, listening to each other and validating what we're feeling, but looking for that next piece of like, okay, you're saying this, you're feeling this. What else is there that could be contributing to that beyond what you can notice for yourself, which is the goal of this work.
So we, you know, I think, you know, we checked that box. We met that goal. You know, and having a mentor like Tom, who has lived his 75 years, maybe I'm not going to count his, you know, infancy, but his definitely throughout what we know of his professional career, has lived by the adage that sharpening by way of the people he places himself around, including his students. We've annoyed the shit out of him during...
We have.
Oh, man. And I think for him, you know, we brought to his attention a few of his habits and his things, and not in a deconstructing way
or judgy way.
No,
it was for
judgment, not judgment.
Yep.
And we make sure that we're asking the same of each other, Tiff and I, and we're asking from the people that we come to work with. That's our whole idea around feedback, is that we want it to be constructive regardless of its underlying sentiment and tone.
Whatever.
Yeah. We want it to have value for the people around us. And, you know, I remember reading something when I was going through a really rough time in my life about 5 years ago. And it was a line that was that the punches never come from above. And when people are resourced and feeling well and confident, they're not reaching to hit you. And this is not a slight that we're in, you know, this, you know, serene place of never feeling self-doubt or any of those things. But, you know, you really do recognize that the people who are cheering you on they're really in your court. You know, people who are not applauding at your successes are the ones that maybe you need to reconsider who you're around. And this is a big successful day. It feels it feels real.
It does.
Yeah. There's not a whole lot that I can say. We're going into our last session with our models this morning, and those are wrapping up sessions. And, you know, I asked Tiffany at breakfast this morning what her kind of idea for her client would be. And, you know, she brought something that's always very important to this work is I'll see where she's at. Because it happens that we can place all that we would want for somebody in our mind's eye on how we would put that to their appointment, that session that day. But how they arrive and how they show up that day will absolutely lead and inform what we're doing with them.
And I want to see where she's landed after the work that we did last time, because there are changes happening between sessions, right? Like this culmination, what we did in the first session, which feels forever ago, but was only 6 weeks ago.
8.
Oh yeah, that's right. 8.
There's 2.
Okay. 8 weeks ago. Forever and not forever at the same time. But that is still integrating and unwinding and doing its work, right? So that first session is still culminating and working its way into her system. And so looking at her through this lens of where does she come from? Where is she going? And what's available today, right? Like that's part of this work. There's no... Yes, I know kind of what territory that I want to be in, but I don't know exactly how that's going to play out until we meet today. I felt a real sense of completeness after yesterday's session that felt really good and felt very connected. And I'm not to say that like I woke up this morning and every part of my body feels perfect. That's not true. But I feel a sense of cohesion of all of my joints and my axial and appendicular skeletons, which axial would be the spine and appendicular like my arms and legs. And I just feel this connectedness that feels really enlivening. And there are still areas that I am focused on and wanting to learn more about and wanting to resource better through my own movement practices, because this is not, oh, I've had 12 sessions and my body is perfect and I'll never hurt again. No, it is elevated though. And I feel that sense of elevatedness and cohesion and new space. And that is really exciting. And I'm so grateful that Rach and I have shared this and that we're moving forward to continue to explore these new spaces. And we both have ideas about how our movement practices are going to evolve and change in light of this, and that's always exciting.
Oh, guys, not to interrupt you, but I'm a whole inch taller.
Yep, it's true. She got an itch. My boo got an itch.
So, as a reminder, if you are popping into this episode, with respect to our tissue, fabric that we would have on our bodies, clothing-wise, if you twist it, it gets shorter. That's how it works. Same with fascia. If something is twisted, it cannot be longer. Mm-hmm. And so my unwinding rendered me an inch. Mm-hmm. And so, just...
We squeezed an inch out of her fabric, you guys. It's pretty cool.
This is, these practices that we're going to come to in these coming months, and what are, maybe looking down the line to what maybe we would want to address on our 12 series hasn't even come into my radar yet.
No.
The processing needs to happen here.
Yep, the harmonious integration and carrying that into movement, because a lot has changed about our static posture and the availability in our movement postures, but we have to consciously embody that by taking this information into our movement and moving mindfully and attuning to what we need. And that's the goal of this podcast that we keep trying to reiterate, is knowing what you need and how to claim your agency, take hold of that, and impact your life for the better.
We are going to wrap this up. Mm-hmm. We have to go to Scuela.
Our last day.
Graduation day. We really appreciate everything that you guys bring to the table. If you want to drop in our comments any way that you would attune, we love to hear other people's attunement practices. And that doesn't mean a doing practice either. We like to bring that as something to be reminded of. Attunement is some of those, felt sense type of exercises where I am in space. How am I gripping my hands? Am I gritting my teeth? Some people grip their feet. There's a lot of ways.
Some people grip at their pelvis and their adductors and those inner thighs. Some people carry their shoulders up to their ears. There's all kinds of ways that we keep tension with us. And maybe, you have a practice, a breathing practice or another type of practice that helps you check in with that. And we want to hear about it.
Your attunement is everything. And we appreciate yours.
Bye.